and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. On the 21st of May, a glorious chapter was added to India's maritime history. This was the day when an all-women crew successfully circumnavigated the globe. The 6-women crew had sailed aboard the INSV Tarini for over 8 months. They covered nearly 22,000 nautical miles, battling extreme weather conditions and braving violent storms. Upon their return, they received a grand welcome by Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and Chief of Naval Staff Sunil Lanba. They also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who encouraged them to share their unique experiences. The social media too was flooded with congratulatory messages for the crew. Today's In Depth brings you the details of this historic mission, the preparation and the planning, the training and the execution of the idea to go round the world in 8 months. The all-women expedition was named Navika Sagar Parikrama. Aligned with the Modi government's thrust for Nari Shakti or women power, the aim of the mission was to promote women empowerment. India's maritime history dates back 5,000 years. Historians even believe that the first tidal dock may have been built on the Gujarat coast during the Indus Valley civilization. However, the first attested attempt to organize a navy in India, as described by Megasthenes, is attributed to Chandragupta Maurya. The Maurya navy continued till the times of Emperor Ashoka, who used it to send massive diplomatic missions to Greece, Syria, Egypt and Macedonia. Powerful navies also included those of the Cholas, Satavahanas, the Vijayanagar kingdom, the Kalinga, Maratha and Mughal empires. In 1612, the British East India Company constituted the modern Royal Navy, but all these endeavours were considered to be male-preserved, with women having little or no scope for entry. Till 1992, women were accepted only in medical and paramedical roles in the armed forces. After that, they were allowed to enter the naval forces on short service commissions in select branches. By 1994, women began to be deployed on ships, breaking the gender barriers and stereotypes that existed for decades. Today, women in the Indian Navy are achieving new milestones. Recently, an all-women crew commanding the INSV Tarini returned to Goa after successfully circumnavigating the globe in a 55-foot sailboat in more than 8 months. It was the first ever Indian expedition steered by women sailors.
They were in the boat for more than 200 days. And the aim was to build up the initiative and the capacity to face challenges, myriad of challenges which are a person in a boat has to face at sea. The weather can deteriorate at any time, the wind can die down at any time, that is your mode of propulsion goes down. The crew had trained well and were prepared to meet all the challenges which such a long voyage, such a protracted voyage poses.
The crew covered 21,600 nautical miles in the Indian-built sailing vessel INSV Tarini that sailed across 5 countries and crossed the equator twice. It sailed across 4 continents and 3 oceans and passed south of the 3 Great Capes, Leuven, Horn and Good Hope. The vessel was skippered by Lieutenant Commander Vartika Joshi and the crew comprised Lieutenant Commanders Pratibha Jamwal, P. Swati and Lieutenants S. Vijaya Devi, B. Aishwarya and Payal Gupta. Named the Navika Sagar Parikrama, the expedition was flagged off on the 10th of September 2017 from the INS Mandovi boat pool in Goa.
Tarini was inducted in 2016 and thereafter subsequently we took Tarini for various sea trials to Porbandar and to various other ports around the Indian peninsula, and thereafter we also took her to Mauritius and back. And then on 10th of September 2017, Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, she came to cast us off for the expedition. Basically the expedition was divided into was meant for 4 stopovers, The first stopover was in Fremantle, Australia, which was almost a distance of almost 5,000 nautical miles of sea distance.
The 6 women officers trained for the project under Captain Dilip Donde, the first Indian to solo circumnavigate the globe. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The INSV Tarini went around the globe in 254 days. The biggest feature of this boat is that it was made under the Prime Minister's Make in India program.
Six women, a 55-foot sailing vessel, and a big blue planet to circumnavigate. It was the stuff of adventure movies and books. And the women were not found wanting. Sailing for over 8 months and covering 21,600 nautical miles, the all-women crew on board the Indian-built sailboat INSV Tarini completed a historic global circumnavigation voyage on 21st May 2018. The expedition saw them sail across 4 continents and 3 oceans. But the journey was not a cakewalk for the women. The crew and the vessel encountered rough seas on numerous occasions. The extremely cold climate coupled with stormy weather conditions made the task of circumnavigating the globe highly daunting and challenging.
It was a difficult task, is borne by the fact that we are the first people to do it. If it was easy, then so many other people would have done it. There are many men's teams which have gone around the world. There has been Indian solo sailor also around the world. But for the women's side, this was the first thing. And that is what we are proud of, that our women's team has been the first in the world to do it.
Let's start with the special sailboat. The indigenously built INSV Tarini is a cruising sloop built at the Aquarius shipyard in Goa. It was inducted in the Indian Navy on 18 February 2017. It has 6 sails, including the mainsail, head sails, downwind and storm sail, and is capable of sailing in extreme conditions. Measuring 55 feet in length, the mast, custom built by Southern Spars, is about 25 meters tall. The boat was named after famous Tara Tarini temple in Odisha. The voyage was also aimed at showcasing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Make in India initiative on the international forum.
We have done a circumnavigation of the globe under sails in a very small indigenously built boat named INSV Tarini. It's a completely Indian naval sponsored activity. We are a team of 6 naval officers, all women officers, and we have been selected from different cadres.
Tarini underwent extensive sea trials before she was commissioned in the Indian Navy. Several improvements were incorporated in this ship based on experience gained from operating INSV Mahadei. Tarini is similar to her predecessor, the INSV Mahadei, which has travelled over 1,15,000 nautical miles during her 8 years of service. INSV Tarini had advanced raymarine navigation suite and array of satellite communication systems for perfect navigation anywhere in world. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, for their expedition, the Indian Navy needed some women officers who are not only brave but also with different abilities. Let's know all about their unique capabilities that made all the difference as a team.
Sea voyages are the toughest of all expeditions. It is challenging to undertake a journey surrounded only by water on all sides. At times, this water takes the form of gigantic sea waves. Ocean storms magnifies the heat from the scorching sun and adds to the freezing cold to make the travelling many times more difficult. It's obvious that in such a scenario, selecting sailors is a daunting task. That's why some special women officers were selected for the task.
Few of us are air traffic controllers, few are education officers, and few are naval constructors. So before joining this particular project, we were into base establishments where we were performing our duties. But Navy selected us and trained us extensively for 3 years for this particular project, where we learned about the navigation, communication, sailing per se, because we had no idea about sailing before this.
These 6 women officers were selected from different naval cadres and all were given strict training for about 3 years in navigation and sailing. The team was led by Lieutenant Commander Vartika Joshi. She is from Pauri Garhwal district's Sayal Khet village in Uttarakhand. Her father, P.K. Joshi, is serving as a professor in Garhwal University. Her mother is a professor in Rishikesh University. Vartika Joshi joined the Indian Navy in 2010. She has already completed a campaign in INSV Mahadei. Another audacious crew member is Lieutenant Commander Pratibha Jamwal. She hails from Kullu in Himachal Pradesh. Before joining the Navy, Pratibha was studying engineering. She started sailing in 2012 and soon proved herself extraordinary in the campaigns. Pratibha is an air traffic control specialist in the Navy. Another important crew member is Lieutenant Aishwarya Buddapati. She belongs to Hyderabad. She did her studies from Hyderabad's Air Force Station. Aishwarya's father worked with CISF. She studied metallurgical engineering and has an experience of working with the DRDO. Aishwarya is working with Navy's technical wing. Lieutenant P. Swati hails from Vishakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Since childhood, she was fascinated by the Navy officers doing march past. Swati wanted to be a doctor, but at her father's behest, she joined the Navy. Swati was also a member of NCC's Navy Corps at the school. Lieutenant Vijaya Devi is also a member of this crew. She belongs to Manipur. She has done her post-graduation from Delhi University. Lieutenant Vijaya had not seen the sea before coming into the Navy. She also learnt swimming in the Navy. In fact, she was afraid of water. But with her zeal, she achieved what most of the women only dream of.
I think the important feature or result you might say is this, that it establishes the leadership potential of the lady officers, sets an example to others, and encourages the spirit of adventure, both in men and women, because in the armed forces, all these things are essential. The capacity to take stress, the capacity to take challenges, the capacity to take difficult circumstances. So all these are challenged and met in this boat ride.
Lieutenant Payal Gupta also belongs to Dehradun in Uttarakhand. Payal's father, Vinod Gupta, is a businessman and her mother, Neelam, homemaker. After completing her studies from Carmen School, she pursued her B.Tech from Dehradun. Payal wanted to go to the army, but she couldn't make through the SSB 5 times. Later, she came to Gurgaon and started working in a company. But Payal did not like the work, and with her hard work, Payal was selected for the Navy in 2012.
The resolve of these officers to do something which is difficult, which is unique, and say we are prepared to suffer all the inconveniences that are caused.
These 6 daring Navy officers together faced the challenges in the sea for almost 8 months. From facing sea storms in Cape Horn and Falk Islands to the technical issues with sailing and steering, Vartika and Aishwarya were also troubled with frostbite. Vijaya had a persistent problem with vomiting. Whatever may have been the issues, together they achieved their goal. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And time for a very short break on the program. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching In Depth on INSV Tarini's Navika Sagar Parikrama. So what conditions did Tarini's crew face during their expedition, and in what difficulties did they complete this campaign? To find the answers, our correspondent Pancharan Mishra interviewed Lieutenant Commander Pratibha Jamwal, one of the members of the historic mission.
लेफ्टिनेंट कमांडर प्रतिभा जामवाल हमारे साथ हैं और ये जो एक्सपेडिशन था उस पूरे के दौरान वो उस 6 सदस्यीय टीम की मेंबर रहीं। उनसे जानेंगे कि क्या उनकी दिक्कतें आई और क्या उनकी उपलब्धियां हासिल हुई। सबसे पहले मेनी कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस।
थैंक यू सो मच।
ये बताइए कि इतना लंबा वक्त आपने बिताया और इतने हाई एंड लोज इस पूरे प्रोग्राम में रहे, इतने खतरे भी एक तरह से कह सकते हैं, तो क्या एक सबसे बड़ा एक्सट्रीम आपको लगा हो कि जहाँ पर कि ये बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है?
देखिए, ऐसे हमने एक्सपेक्ट किया था कि हम बहुत सारी डिफ़िकल्टीज़ का सामना करेंगे। तो हमने 3 एक्चुअली फेस किए तूफ़ान, जिनमें कि एक सी में था और 2 जब हम हार्बर पे थे तब था। तो जो सी में था उस टाइम पे काफ़ी तेज़ हवाएं बह रही थी, कुछ 140 किलोमीटर्स पर आवर की गति से, और सी बहुत हाई था, 9 से 10 मीटर की वेव्स आ रही थी। कुछ वेव्स बोट के ऊपर क्रैश कर रही थी, जिसके पूरा बोट भीग गया और हम भी वहाँ पे सब ज़ीरो टेम्परेचर में काम कर रहे थे, तो वो काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट था हमारे लिए। और उसी तरह जब हम पोर्ट में थे तो हमारा एक सेल खुल गया था, जिससे हमें काफ़ी पूरी रात काम करके सेल को बंद करना पड़ा। तो ऐसी ऐसी छोटी मुसीबतें आती रही। हमारा इंजन ख़राब हो गया था और फिर हमारा स्टीयरिंग गियर पूरा ख़राब हो गया। तो उस तरह से हम जिसकी वजह से हमें ड्यू टूर लेना पड़ा, मॉरिशस आना पड़ा, इमरजेंसी रिपेयर करने पड़े। तो ये सब मुसीबतें।
ये बोट अपनी इंडियन मेड बोट है, पूरा गोवा शिपयार्ड में तैयार हुई है, तो ये कितना बड़ा आप देखते हैं कि कितनी बेहतर?
ये गोवा शिपयार्ड में नहीं, एक प्राइवेट शिपयार्ड एक्वेरियस फाइबर ग्लास लिमिटेड में तैयार हुई है, और ये एक बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है, और ये बहुत ही एक स्टर्डी बोट है एंड बहुत ही अच्छी बिल्ट बोट है।
ठीक है, एक आखिरी मैसेज क्या देना चाह रही हैं आप?
मैं यही मैसेज देना चाहती हूँ कि जो आपके ड्रीम्स हैं उनको फॉलो कीजिए, और डेफिनेटली आप बिना डाउट के उसको अचीव कर पाएंगे। थैंक यू।
INSV Tarini added another chapter to the glorious history of the Indian Navy. However, this arduous voyage of INSV Tarini is not the last, but just the beginning of many more to come in near future, as this encourages the spirit of adventure.
In September 2017, when the INSV Tarini started its historic voyage, it marked the first attempt to circumnavigate the world by an all-women Asian group. The 8-month-long journey was completed in 6 phases. It had 5 port calls in Fremantle, Australia, Lyttelton, New Zealand, Port Stanley in Falklands, Cape Town in South Africa, and finally Mauritius, before returning home to Goa on May 21st, 2018. All 6 crew members were trained for over 3 years under Captain Dilip Donde, who is also the first Indian to successfully carry out solo circumnavigation of the globe between 2009 and 2010.
The most difficult stretch, there were many difficult stretches, but one specific thing which is worth mentioning is about the storm that we faced in the South Pacific Ocean, where the winds they rose to they were in excess of 60 knots, which is close to 120 kilometers per hour, and the waves were as high as 8 to 9 meters high. We had to battle the forces of nature and get through it in about 19 hours time. It took us to get out of it. So that was one, and the second was when our steering gear broke right 2,000 miles short of India, and we had to take a detour towards Port Louis to have the boat go alongside safely.
But this isn't the first time that human beings have tried to circumnavigate the earth. The first single voyage was the ship Victoria between 1519 and 1522, known as the Magellan Elcano expedition. It started with 5 ships and 270 men. It was a Castilian or Spanish voyage of discovery led initially by Ferdinand Magellan between 1519 and 1521, and then by the Basque Juan Sebastian Elcano from 1521 to 1522. After Magellan was killed by the people of Philippines on 27 April 1521, the circumnavigation was completed under the command of Juan Sebastian Elcano, who returned to Sanlúcar de Barrameda, Spain on 6 September 1522 after a journey of 3 years and 1 month. This was the first attempt to circumnavigate the globe in a single expedition.
There are other host of other problems. there is shortage of water, there is shortage of space, there is quality of food suffers because of this thing. And basically, also, which is not realized, the stress imposed on living in very closed quarters for that length of time. That stress is the most important stress, and that requires to be overcome. The willpower is the most important. Of course, physical fitness is required, but I would say that physical fitness is number 2. It is the mental agility and mental capacity to say, I can do it. That is the important thing.
After this, sea enthusiasts covered the journey around the earth at least 50 times. The famous British explorer and navigator Captain James Cook in 1766 went on a scientific voyage to the Pacific Ocean. The first circumnavigation by an Indian crew was undertaken in 1985 by the Indian Army Corps of Engineers on the yacht Trishna. They successfully completed the journey on January 10, 1987. In 2003-2004, INS Tarangini became the first Indian naval ship to circumnavigate the globe. Commander Dilip Dhonde set a record for the first ever solo circumnavigation of the globe on a sailboat by an Indian. He completed his arduous journey in 2010. Commander Abhilash Tomy is the first Indian to complete a solo, unassisted, non-stop circumnavigation under sail. The voyage was a part of the Indian Navy's Project Sagar Parikrama, initiated by Vice Admiral retired MP Avati. The voyage was completed in 2013. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in this edition of In Depth. You can watch the episode as well as all previous editions of In Depth on YouTube and get back to us with suggestions and feedback. Thanks for your time.